from Southampton. Actually moved to London to study film, dropped out about a year after moving here, and then ended up doing what I actually moved to London to do in the first place, just off my own back, which was amazing, which came mainly from meeting Rose, basically.
Yeah, I came from Los Angeles to study, so I did my degree at Goldsmiths, but that went by pretty quickly. Actually now I'm more productive than I ever was at uni, but yeah, I did it. I graduated.
Yeah, I don't really feel like I got anything from going to uni to study film. Like, it was basically moved to London, met loads of people, and then suddenly I was able to do everything I ever dreamed of just by meeting people. So, yeah. I think we just met like in a club or something.
At Divine Incest, our friend Felicity's club. But we didn't speak for about a year.
No, we didn't.
We had this club and there'd be two groups of social groups.
Because I was in this like 60s scene.
Yeah.
And Rose was in this
I just look at him and go, who is that geek?
Like, oh no way! And then suddenly we just sort of came to within like a week or two we were friends. And then we wrote off 2010, that's fine. Yeah, but
we had a lot of fun.
We had a lot of fun and planned a lot of like ideas, and it wasn't until a lot later that we actually started putting, these ideas that we were talking about at 4 o'clock in the morning, actually going out there and doing it, using the people that we'd met in the year that we wrote off, and just starting to actually do something creative, like properly, which was really good.
I think it takes time though when you meet, your counterpart. You've got to brew your culture, so to speak.
Enhance you all your life. But if you want to get to heaven,
how we came up with the idea was, well, basically we were doing a club night, which wasn't doing very well at all, and we were like, let's start making some films that we can show at the club night.
To make it more interesting. This really bad club night that we were doing.
We were like, fuck the club night, and then we'll just carry on making the film. So basically that's what we're doing now.
Yeah, so Tiramisu was originally a promotional thing for the club that's now defunct, and then the other film we're showing tonight, The Reincarnation, is kind of an add-on, an extension
because we weren't
of that.
happy with the film, so we were like, well, let's add a few scenes in, and then we actually came up with a really good idea, and we were like, wow, let's just make
completely different.
Whole new film. I think we now like do a night around the film, like maybe every 3 months or something, because I can't be bothered to do it. I really can't. And we never made any money. And, no, nah.
So the short answer is no.
No. I think our inspiration comes a lot from our friends. And the people that were constantly around, like
everyone in the film is kind of this exaggerated version of themselves, isn't it? Like, so it's about I guess creating this fantastical persona, and everyone comes to the table to summon the spirit, which is really a metaphor for the creative spirit. My first inspiration for Tiramisu visually was a trip I went to to New Orleans, to this voodoo museum. Actually looked a lot like this place. But it was just full of kind of like Mardi Gras stuff, like that kind of party vibe, but with the death kind of vibe as well. That was my original.
And then she comes back and tells me all these things, and I'm like, we should do this, we should do that. Oh my god! So, yeah. I mean, my inspiration comes from Rose a lot, mainly. I don't know.
So the recent issue of Dazed is the theme of the issue is East London Dead. So obviously they chose us to illustrate that, and they asked us for Dazed Digital, do we think East London's dead? And well, if you think about it, I guess being creative in London, this is the creative epicenter of the UK, and to an extent like the whole world right now. There's this whole you know, vibe about East London scene, but I know everyone takes a piss out of it, but it's true. It's really full of really creative, good people who we want to work with. We've been to the clubs, we've done that lifestyle for a few years, and it did inform the work, but now people are starting to move on and take their work seriously, and it's good that they're here because this is the place to be for that, you know, whether people think that's a joke or not. I don't.
Something even greater than mankind.
There's so many hidden values.
Well, there's a lot of in-jokes between me and Josh.
Yeah, but also there was a lot of other things that were going on when we were making both films that affected the content.
Yeah, definitely. I think what we're saying about us meeting at clubs and being really involved in club culture, I was trying to kind of transform that and put an artistic or a poetic slant on that. So really that's what the films are about. They're kind of about contextualizing this hedonistic East London lifestyle that so many of us seem to lead, but with a fun visual, you know, to make it pop, you know, to give it that entertainment factor. But yeah, that's really what like my written work in the films is about.
The spirit lives on and haunts you all your life.
Make a film that all our friends will like, but I think what we've been asking ourselves a lot lately is, you know, how do we, are we trying to reach a visual audience?
But that's what we're struggling with is branching out, and making something that's accessible to everyone really, and getting out of our own club culture and our own scene and ideas. So that's what we really want to work on next, is making a maybe a feature length.
No.
But yeah, longer than 3 minutes.
Yes.
Longer than 3 minutes, shall we say? That kind of 6 minutes. We're making a 6-minute film next time.
The spirit never dies. The spirit lives on and haunts you all your life.
I just think.
I think we can
But like
do
what
it.
you said, no, I don't at all. I'm not up for making like Ben Hur.
Let's discuss this later.
I don't have time, Jesus. I got to work at a bar.
I've got to go sign on the dole. I mean, geez, where to find time?
It's the rock and roll lifestyle of being like filming.
To the music no one else could hear. Walking in the dark of night.
I think we're still learning. I think we're still like en route somewhere. I think we're just.
We've got a lot to learn about making professional films because we did everything in a kind of trashy, you know, low budget kind of style like before, but now you can see in the Green Carnation we're trying to, you know, up our visuals and make it look slick, and I think the kind of thing we want to go for is music videos and fashion films, kind of get into working with different fashion designers or musicians that would like incorporate our visual style with their ideas. I think that's ultimately what we want to get from showing these films tonight.
Because there's an amazing party happening under the bed tonight. So come down with me. Dee.
Kenneth Anger, John Morris, and Cody from Sean.
Yeah,
Sean is our all-time favourite band, and we love all his video work. He's our hero. And Joanna Lumley.
Well, yeah, we are planning a new film, which is basically gonna sort of.
Don't give it away.
No, I'm not going to give it away. But instead of being in this sort of fantasy world all the time, I think we want to take sort of, you know, what's actually going on now in London and use that as an influence in the film.
Well, yeah, like as I said, like we are in, you know, this creative epicenter. So for all the hype there is about East London, we want to make a film that shows the reality of it, and it has elements of satire and fantasy, and you know, is fantastically visual, but it has a kind of more of a real, not documentary style, but more of a real core to it, I think. And I think it'd be interesting for the people in the UK to see it, because there's so much hype about, you know, about East London or whatever, but to show the reality of it as told by ourselves.
You chose something with that made me jump.
We're on the right track now. I've got like real high hopes for the next year, definitely. 2012.
We've had our doubts definitely, but we've always come back to each
And
other.
I think that makes us stronger ultimately. You know, we're going to use
Can't
what
get away from
we
it.
fucked up to
Don't put it that way though.
No, but we're going to pour that into our next work. And
Yeah.
it's looking really good.
Walking in the park one day, saw
Hi, I'm Mary T, and I'm a friend of Josh and Angel's. And you know, it was the best thing since Gone with the Wind. The story arc rises and explodes into guitars. I loved every second of it.
Yeah, I thought it was mind-blowing yet captivating at the same time. It kept you there the entire time.
And sexy. I really got turned on while watching it.
Hi, I'm Jackie Potato, and I'm here tonight because I know Josh and Angel, just from like around and about actually, just sort of like clubbing and in passing. Then you know Facebook leads to one thing and another, and we found out we just totally know each other already. So I thought I'd come and check it out because I thought it'd be interesting. And they are really visually fabulous films, really like them. Lots of really bright hyper colour, nice and kitsch. It's just, they're really, really good fun. Visual films, love them.
Hi, I'm Asma. I loved it. I thought it was really good. It's very colourful and I really like the music as well. I think they did a really good job on it.
My name is Israel Winter, and I thought the film was beautiful and grotesque at the same time.
I've originally seen the first installation of Tiramisu over at home the Ludskis, and it was really good. And tonight was going on again. Had to come see the second one. It's even better than the first one. CGI in this one was amazing. And I love the poetic lyricism that Angel Rose used in this film.
Hello, I'm Mitch, and I know Josh Rose from ages ago. And my hats are in the film, and I'm in the film, and I loved it. It's great because it really shows what we're like, camp and nuts, basically. But it's really great. I'm really happy about how it came out.
Hi, my name is Karen, and I thought the film was a carnival of colour, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. Good times, well done Rose, bravo.
I'm Josh's mum, and this is Josh's brother, Jacob, and yeah, I thought the film was brilliant. It's got very Josh through it, yeah, that horrible bit, the horror part of it, yeah, see you can't be in it.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah, it's really good.
Interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what else he's got in store.
The spirit lives on and haunts you all your life. But if you want to get to heaven, you've got to get high. So darling, kiss yourself goodbye.